This is Inner Kid Keto. Keto because our weight loss journey is wrapped around the concept of keto, fat burning keto processes. Inner Kid because my great passion is to do a deep dive into recovering the inner child, which is often behind the eating monster that makes us get into our situation of overweight in the first place. Most of us have been on a diet or two that we ended up going back and putting the weight back on. And then we lost it, and then we put it back on, and we lost it, and we put it back on. That's certainly been my story, and I know many others. My goal for you and for me is a permanent release of the need to put it back on. Let's solve this once and for all. The keto food plan is a wonderful tool, but my passion is to take us deeper and solve the real burdens, the real issues of why we got this way in the first place. Makes sense? Most of the people that come to my group, my collective, my community here on Inner Kid Keto, this is not your first rodeo, but I'd like it to be your last. I'd like it to be the last time you struggle with the low self-esteem, the changing wardrobe, the loss of vitality, weight and food issues, health issues, high blood pressure, heart issues, sluggish, not being able to exercise, enjoy play, enjoy fun, hiking, camping, all the beautiful things, bicycling, all the things that people who don't have these issues don't have to contend with. And I say this with love, not with judgment. Absolutely with love. Now, my first experience with the inner child was when I lived in the Bay Area back in 1970s. Berkeley, Oakland, Piedmont, Montclair, Albany, Emeryville. I was in that whole area there for several years. And I went to an inner child workshop, and I learned to communicate with my inner child at that workshop. And from then on, I started the dialogues, inner dialogues. And one day I said, "Dear little Linda, how are you?" And she says, "I'm not fine. You never take me to the beach. You don't buy me flowers." She had attitude, but it was true. Here I was in the Bay Area, less than an hour or two from the ocean, and hadn't been in over a year. I'm in Ohio now. It's thousands of miles to the ocean. It's been over a year again, but not just an hour or two away. And about never buying her flowers. Little Linda likes flowers. I have a girlfriend named Erica. And this morning she emailed me a picture of some flowers she bought herself. She said, "I've been buying these every week and they're making me feel happier." And I thought, well, if she can get flowers, so can I. It's been a long time since I bought myself flowers. So I went to the next grocery store, and all they had were these hyacinths. And they're little plants, and not one of them was there without a dead flower on it. It had a bright flower and kind of a dying flower. And I thought, you know what? That's perfect. Whoops, I just spilled it. Oops, whoops, okay, and that's okay. I happen to love hyacinths. They're incredibly fragrant. And my dad, when I was a little girl, told me this poem about hyacinths, and I'm going to read it to you. If of thy mortal goods thou art bereft, and of thy simple store 2 loaves of bread are alone are left, sell one, and with thy dole buy hyacinths to feed thy soul. Buy hyacinths to feed thy soul. Now, there are 2 authors attributed. A more recent one is John Greenleaf Whittier, but my research shows that a man named Sada, I think it's Saada, 13th century Persian poet, born in 1210, is the true author. And I tend to believe it's the older one. When my father passed away, I got a hyacinth for his grave because of that poem. And if any of you are around my grave when it's that time, I'd love a hyacinth then. Just saying. So what I'm going to do with this hyacinth, because we've got a healthy piece and we've got a piece that's letting go, is I'm going to take off the piece that's letting go. And we're going to see that, here it goes, as the part of us we're shedding, the part of us we don't need anymore. Yes, that weight has served us. Putting that weight on has worked for us. We might not have hit somebody or lost our job or said things we shouldn't have said, or hit a child or acted out because we stuffed it instead with food. But today, we're more in touch. We're knowing how to listen to ourselves. We're knowing how to help ourselves before we get to that freak out stage of I've got to stuff this with fill in the blanks. I'm not going to say the words. Even the piece I cut off still has sweetness. You might want to do some kind of ceremony for the weight you're releasing. I don't want to say I lost the weight because that means it's lost and I got to go find it. No, it's the weight I'm leaving, releasing, saying bye-bye. Like this little flower, this piece that's not as fresh and bright as the other piece. Still fragrant, still has value. You have value. Let's thank this flower for sweetening the air, because it is still sweet. And let's thank the weight that has served us all these months and years, held us back from situations we weren't ready for, protected us for people who would have judged us, made us have excuses not to go out there and dance or not to go out for that job or not to feel good enough about ourselves so we didn't get into situations that we thought we couldn't handle. It served me. I suspect some of that weight has served you too. I had people living with me that were sometimes hard for me. Don't need to say any names, but stuffing my disappointment, my frustration, my loneliness, whatever it was easier than saying, go away, I can't stand you. Many of us have situations that are heartbreaking, challenging, cause struggle. And rather than speaking up or saying no, or saying I'm not up to this, or getting therapy, or doing something else, or running away, having a divorce, whatever it would be that might make it different, we might have stuffed it with food rather than fill in the blanks. I don't want to get too intense or too heavy, but if you're honest, you know what I'm talking about. So our opportunity is to make healthier choices that put me in my life, you in your life. What you need, want, feel matters. Going to the beach matters. Having flowers matters. Saying yes to yourself matters. Are you following this? I hope so. I'm not going to say any more about that. You'll figure it out. Now I have little Linda here. And a lot of times little Linda got buried when I was being too codependent, taking care of everybody else. So I brought her an Easter bunny. It's almost Easter. I'm going to give little Linda a pretty pink Easter bunny to say, hop to it, little girl. It's your turn to be cuddled, loved, and appreciated just as you are. Mwah. So I've got a flower. Little Linda's got a bunny. We heard the poem. But something else came up today, and I want to share this with you too. I'm in Coach Michelle's growth group, and one of the ladies in the group, Mary Elizabeth Bossory, said this thing she's grateful for, and it was so profound, I wrote it out for you. She says, I have gratitude for any being that has shown me any kind of love, whether I've known it or not. I'm going to repeat that. Mary Elizabeth said she has gratitude for any being that has shown her any kind of love, whether she's known it or not. I take that one on board. I think that is a profound and beautiful prayer of gratitude. Sometimes we're just not aware. I'm going to hold this up, so if you want to write it down. Whether you know it or not. We've all been loved enough, or we wouldn't be alive today. Somebody fed us, somebody took care of us when we were infants. Somebody made sure we didn't get run over by a car when we were 6 and were chasing a ball. Through 1,000 little miracles, we're still here. Thank you, God. We're still here. And we're going to do it more gracefully every day with an attitude of gratitude and remembering the hyacinth for the soul and letting go of that which no longer serves us and thanking it for how it did, thanking it for what it did do for us, that that's all we could handle at that time. Make sense? All right. See you tomorrow on Inner Kid Keto. Linda Schiller Hanna signing off. Thank you. God bless you.